Multiple sightings of a Yeti, otherwise called Bigfoot or Sasquatch, have not been fully resolved in Fremont, Wisconsin for over 50 years, since the creature became the talk of the town. Hey everybody, we're the Wisco Wheeler YouTube channel. We love riding our mopeds and all things Wisconsin. Join us and be inspired to make your day with us in Wisconsin the best day in Wisconsin. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss out on our next adventure. The Yeti of Fremont was first spotted in October of 1968 by bow hunters in the Deltox Marsh. The same 3 men and 9 additional hunters spotted the creature again in November of that year while driving on a deer hunt. The first time Bob Perry, who was up in a tree stand, didn't know what it was. But the second time, he had a closer look at what he and the others concluded was a hunter dressed in an unusual garment, or maybe a bear, or who would dare to imagine anything as far out as a monster? Dick Blyer, Bill Mallow, and Perry drove the deer again 6 weeks later, and by that time were convinced that what they had seen was not a bear because of the length of the legs and the speed at which it traveled. The idea of it being a bear soon faded when Dick Tellock spotted it dancing around and ducking behind bushes. No Wisconsin black bear had ever accomplished a dancing routine, or at least not one ever reported any dancing bears in the Wisconsin woods. There were 12 men on that drive through the Deltox Marsh. The swamp is thick with canary grass. The 12 were Bob Perry, Dick Blyer, Bill Mallow, Dick Tellock, Richard Vandenberg, Pete Vandenberg, Kurt Krieger, Artie Tellock, Lester Zilke, Don Savinka, Romy Savinka, and an unidentified man from Milwaukee were checked out, and the legal deer drive sanctioned was by Game Warden Larry McKevitt before he left for another investigation. Although McKevitt didn't see the beast, he told the Post-Crescent at the time that he too couldn't believe someone would be so foolish as to dress as an animal in the fields during deer season. The men were spaced 15 to 20 paces apart and proceeded into the marsh. But before reaching the central grassy area, the 3 men on the left end of the line spotted the creature standing upright. Because of the man-like appearance of the object, the men did not shoot. The line movement halted and alerted to the strange sight. The animal moved quietly to the left of the line as the men positioned themselves for a closer look. The man-like creature decided to leave, but stopped each time the men stopped driving. It finally disappeared into the thicket, making it impossible for the men to follow it. The men reported that what they saw was a broad-shouldered, barrel-shaped body with black or brownish hair about 4 inches long. The face and palms were bare, and the legs were comparative to those of a tall man, but the arms were extremely long. Dr. Ivan Sanderson, director of the Society for the Investigation of the Unexplained, and Doctor of Zoology, Dr. Bernard Hovelmans, came to Fremont because of a story they had read in an Oshkosh paper about the 3 hunters who had seen a human-like creature in a marsh near Fremont, Wisconsin. They contacted Game Warden McKevitt, who told them that a Yeti hunt was scheduled for the following Saturday. The doctors traveled from New Jersey to Madison in a blizzard, fearing that they would miss the hunt for what the Fremonters were calling their Yeti. Dr. Sander and Huntelman, Al Sampson of Channel 11 news station, and several of the hunters met at Orahula Resort. The creature was not sighted, but the tracks found were measured at 17 inches long, and the depth of the impression indicated about 400 pounds. The doctors were convinced that Fremont, Wisconsin's Yeti was indeed seen by the hunters, and Mr. and Mrs. Albert Hahn of Fremont and Mr. and Mrs. Stan Pencala of Appleton. Sightings took place on October 19th, November 10th, and November 13th of 1968. The 2-month saga is mentioned in a number of books of unexplained phenomena in Wisconsin. If it was indeed a prankster, nobody ever confessed, and no one ever came forward to name him. Most back then thought it was a hoax. A 20-year-old Wawega man was among a few people who emerged as suspects, but again, no one confessed. McKevitt, according to Post-Crust reports, came to figure that if it was a beast, it was a vegetarian. Canary grass had been chewed down to water level, but a nearby deer carcass was left untouched. The creature apparently liked its drink. He surmised, based on a big pile of beer cans stuck in a dry area where the sightings were reported. A group of snowmobilers went out on December 14th to hunt for tracks after Fremont finally achieved a decent snow cover. For about 2 months, imaginations ran wild here in Fremont with the possibility of the Deltox Marsh monster. So, was it a prank? Or was it a Yeti? Thanks for joining us. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below if you'd like to join us on our next adventure.